Jon's name has yet to be revealed. However, I strongly believe that there can only be one name: Aegon. Not only is Jon's name Aegon, he is also the true-born son of Rhaegar Targaryen.
As a young boy, the Prince of Dragonstone was bookish to a fault. He was reading so early that men said Queen Rhaella must have swallowed some books and a candle whilst he was in her womb. Rhaegar took no interest in the play of other children. The maesters were awed by his wits, but his father's knights would jest sourly that Baelor the Blessed had been born again, until one day Prince Rhaegar found something in his scrolls that changed him. No one knows what it might have been, only that the boy suddenly appeared early one morning in the yard as the knights were donning their steel. He walked up to Sir William Darry, the Master-at-Arms, and said, "I will require sword and armour. It seems I must be a warrior."
It is my belief that Rhaegar read about the prophecy of the prince that was promised. Rhaegar thought he was the prince that was promised, and from that day on, every decision he made, every action he took, was based on that prophecy.
It was a prince that was promised, not a princess. Rhaegar, I thought the smoke was from the fire that devoured Summerhall on the day of his birth, the salt from the tears shed for those who died. He shared my belief when he was young, but later he became persuaded that it was his own son who fulfilled the prophecy.
Viserys was her first thought the next time she paused, but a second glance told her otherwise. The man had her brother's hair, but he was taller, and his eyes were a dark indigo rather than lilac. "Aegon," he told a woman nursing a newborn babe in a great wooden bed. "What better name for a king?" "Will you make a song for him?" the woman asked. "He has a song," the man replied. "He is the prince that was promised, and his is the song of ice and fire." He looked up when he said it, and his eyes met Dany's, and it seemed as if he saw her standing there beyond the door. "There must be one more," he said, though whether he was speaking to her or the woman in the bed she could not say. "The dragon has 3 heads." He went to the window seat, picked up a harp, and ran his fingers lightly over its silvery strings. Sweet sadness filled the room as man and wife and babe faded like the morning mist.
At this point, Rhaegar believes he has 2 of the 3 dragon heads, and that there must be one more. However, Elia Martell is unable to give him another child. Then he meets Lyanna and crowns her Queen of Love and Beauty. They fall in love, and Lyanna leaves the north. Rhaegar explains to Lyanna that his son Aegon is the prince that was promised, and she believes him. He explains that Aegon needs a 3rd head. Lyanna agrees to give him that child. She marries Rhaegar. They plan to name their child after the last dying member of the original Dragonhead, Visenya. Then Rhaegar dies on the Trident. Lyanna knows what he wanted, and she's determined to make it happen. Rhaegar dies, but his plan lives on. The final blow to the plan comes when Aegon and Rhaenys are murdered by the mountain in King's Landing. No more 3 dragon heads. All that is left is an unborn child.
"I looked for you on the Trident," Ned said to them. "We were not there," Sir Gerald answered. "Woe to the usurper if we had been," said Sir Oswald. "When King's Landing fell, Sir Jaime slew your king with a golden sword, and I wondered where you were." "Far away," Sir Gerald said, "or Aerys would yet sit on the Iron Throne, and our false brother would burn in 7 hells. I came down on Storm's End to lift the siege," Ned told them, "and the Lords Tyrell and Redwyne
dipped their banners, and all their knights bent their knee to pledge us fealty. I was certain you would be among them.
Eddard Stark went from King's Landing to Storm's End before he got to the Tower of Joy. By the time Eddard arrived at the Tower of Joy, Lyanna had already learned that both Aegon and Rhaenys were murdered. Dorne mourns the death of their princes and princesses. Lyanna is desperate. Rhaegar had told her that his son Aegon was the prince that was promised. She had been sure Rhaegar was right. His son Aegon was the prince that was promised. But how could he be when Aegon died at the sack of King's Landing? Then she realizes Rhaegar's prophecy was right after all. It was about a different son, another Aegon. Her last act of love was naming her son Aegon. Thus, she fulfilled Rhaegar's prophecy that his son Aegon would be the prince that was promised, and his will be the song of ice and fire.